we're going to get to the semi-main event. I know Chris was a little bit occupied during the semi-main event. We'll get back to him in a moment. We talk a little bit about the World Heavyweight Championship match, but Asuka, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte Flair, kind of a tough spot there. Semi-main event between two world title men's matches. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about who's not on the card for SummerSlam with the Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch match and Rhea Ripley. Those top level stars not being on the card, but overall, Asuka, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte Flair certainly did their best to carry it. Belair gets the win with the title win over Asuka in 20 minutes, 42 seconds with a roll up, but didn't last very long, even lasted shorter than her title reign 2 years ago at SummerSlam when Io Sky came in, cashed in the Money in the Bank contract, winning with the over the moonsault to win her first WWE championship. We'll start with Rachel this time. Your thoughts on first the triple threat match and then the aftermath.
Well, I honestly did not. I didn't really know who was going to win. I had Asuka winning when I made my predictions. I just like seeing her as champion, but I think they did a great job in the match. I think Belair with her injury was a little much. She didn't need it. Like I think we mentioned during the show, someone mentioned she could just be put in the figure 4 or figure 8 for like 5 minutes, but instead of all that, trying to get her out of the ring, getting her out down the ramp like 5 feet until she came back in the ring. But yeah, I mean, I like Bianca. I didn't expect her to win. I was hoping for Asuka, but very happy for Io. Like you mentioned when we were watching it, she was getting ready to leave a year ago. And she came back and now she's champion, and the pop for Dakota Kai coming back was fantastic. I love her too. I'm just so happy for Io. I think she's incredible.
Certainly a big moment for Io Sky. I think a big moment as well for WWE's interest in Joshi wrestling. And of course, the news that also kind of leaked out tonight, some of the dirt sheets reporting that Kairi Sane may be on her way back to WWE. She's supposed to have an announcement. Probably by the time this podcast posts, that announcement will already be out. So we'll know for sure one way or another. But Damage Control's an interesting group because obviously they're supposed to be heels. And certainly what Bayley did on the way to the ring with the briefcase was not a babyface move, clearing everybody out. But Io Sky has always been very popular. She's another one of those, I think you've talked about before, Mike, wrestlers who maybe sometimes feel underutilized, and therefore the fans rally behind those wrestlers. And the pop for her winning, the pop for Dakota Kai, who's another wrestler, kind of falls in that category. Certainly made a big moment there after the cash in and championship win.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people would love a reason to cheer for Damage Control as a whole. I think in a lot of ways, you can look at Bayley as kind of being the other of the 4 horsewomen sometimes, where she maybe isn't given the respect that she has due. And obviously, fans have loved Io Sky and Dakota Kai for a while now. So that's just, the feud currently with Shotzi is going to be, they're going to have to get through that. But I don't see any reason to not just let Damage Control at some point turn back face. Kind of to the thing you mentioned earlier about some of the names who weren't on SummerSlam tonight. And I think it kind of speaks to a weird problem that I don't think WWE has had in a while, where you almost have too many stars that you want to see on these shows where you can't book them all, or else someone's going to feel shortchanged. If you had Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus wrestle for a 7-minute match with a goofy finish or something, you would feel cheated. I think the same with Rhea Ripley. You want her out there and in a similar match to like the triple threat that we saw for the title. And I think if you don't give them that, you almost start thinking, why are they even on the show?
And I think that you want to point to one thing that Triple H has done well, even back to his NXT days, was having limited match takeovers, having limited match pay-per-views, because it allows you to give proper time to those matches, give them 15 to 20 minutes to tell the story instead of, like you said, having a 5-minute match or having a weird finish because you're just trying to shoehorn something in. And I even saw where Zoe Stark was doing media for SummerSlam and basically said, they know what they're doing. This is the right call. They can give that match 20 minutes on Raw in a couple weeks in Canada and it'll be fine, rather than giving it 7 minutes on this pay-per-view and feeling like, well, there needs to be another match. And this match should be the blow off. You can't rush it through a 7-minute match.
And I also think when we were talking about the ticket sales earlier for SmackDown and Survivor Series, if people are going to be treating Raw and SmackDown like a hot ticket, you have to then give them big matches as a result. Like you're kind of forcing their hand that some of these matches can be on your weekly TV, and it's not considered just casting them off.
We mentioned it, and we will mention it next week on our wrestling podcast when we talk about it. Monday Night Raw was almost unwatchable for a while because matches would be very short, nonsense finishes, rematches week after week, no continuity one week to the next or even one show to the next. That's all gone now. Monday Night Raw, it's still too long, but it is cohesive now, and you have good main events like that Viking Rules match a couple weeks ago. It's becoming must-see TV, not just on television, but in person as well. You got to go experience it live. So it's interesting to see. But Io Sky cashes in. Like you said, Damage Control certainly in an interesting place. Really interested to see where they go from here. I still want to see the one-on-one match between Asuka and Io Sky, especially because Asuka's days, you don't know how much longer she's going to wrestle or want to wrestle in the States, because obviously she's getting a little bit older and longer in the career. So you don't want to miss the opportunity to do that match in a WWE ring if you get the chance.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how that goes. Great triple threat match. It was kind of slow build. Again, the injury to Belair, I understand why they did it, because they were trying to protect her on the cash in. But in the end, I don't know that it was necessarily pertinent to the way it all ended up. So we'll see where that storyline goes.
Ideally, just the result of that match alone should have put you in a position where you could be cashed in on. It didn't require, in my opinion, an injury to justify it.
I agree with that. I mean, you're talking about 3 top level stars. If you're facing 2 of them for 20 minutes, that's enough of a reason not to be in condition to have somebody cash in and beat you with their finish. So,
especially when they've been teasing the cash in with Priest. Regardless, like it's like at any point in time he may cash in. He's not waiting for someone to be nearly carted off with an injury to do it.